The EV van segment isn't supposed to move fast, but the 2026 Kia PV5 just changed the conversation overnight. This isn't a concept piece or a prototype, it's a production-ready modular electric van built on Kia's new PBV platform, engineered for everything from family duty to commercial fleets. And with Kia targeting up to 300 miles of range and investing in a dedicated PBV manufacturing hub, the PV5 may be the first electric van that finally makes real business sense. Let's get into why it's already shaking up the market. Welcome back to Car Today Reviews. If staying ahead of the newest car tech and real-world buying insights matters, make sure to subscribe so you never miss what's coming next. The big shift starts with Kia no longer treating vans as an afterthought. The 2026 PV5 is the first model in Kia's dedicated PBV lineup, built on a purpose-engineered electric platform, not a retrofitted gas architecture. That alone changes everything. The structure is modular, the body panels are swappable, and the layout is designed so the same vehicle can function as a passenger model, a delivery van, or a ride-hailing shuttle without redesigning the entire car. Kia also confirmed a next-generation eGMP-based setup for the PV5, which means faster charging, better thermal management, and significantly improved efficiency compared to the company's older EV vans in other markets. Add the dedicated PBV factory coming online in Korea, plus a software-first ecosystem for fleet operations, and this isn't just a new van. It's the start of a product category Kia wants to own. That's the real story. The PV5 isn't a tweak or a facelift. It's the first clean-sheet EV van from a major automaker built for both families and fleets, and the jump in capability shows immediately. The foundation of the 2026 Kia PV5 comes down to numbers that finally make an electric van practical. Kia's long-range battery is targeting up to 258 miles of WLTP range, a figure already validated on the prototype and far beyond what most compact electric vans have been able to deliver. Even if EPA numbers come in lower, the PV5 starts ahead of the curve, giving both families and fleets real daily flexibility without constant charging anxiety. Fast charging performance backs that up. Kia estimates peak DC speeds around 150 kilowatts, which means the PV5 can recover a large portion of its battery in roughly 35 to 40 minutes on a highway fast charger. For delivery operators, shuttle services, or anyone moving people and gear all day, that's the difference between staying on schedule and losing hours to downtime. Platform efficiency plays another role. Built on Kia's PBV electric architecture, the PV5 delivers the immediate torque EVs are known for, and early test figures show a payload capacity competitive with gas-powered compact vans. In long wheelbase configuration, it's engineered to carry standard Euro pallet dimensions, giving it legitimate commercial capability, rather than EV only for light-duty limitations. Pricing hasn't been finalized for the US, but Kia has positioned the PV5 in international markets at the lower end of the light commercial EV segment. Once federal tax credits and state incentives are layered in, early estimates suggest the PV5 could land in a zone that undercuts many electric competitors while delivering far more range and modular versatility. So the baseline is simple: up to 258 miles of usable range, 150 kilowatts charging, commercial-grade payload potential, and pricing built to challenge the segment. These numbers aren't futuristic. They're the reason the PV5 is already reshaping expectations before it even reaches US showrooms. The first thing that registers when seeing the 2026 Kia PV5 in person is how purposeful the design feels. This isn't a rounded-off conversion of a passenger van. The PV5's proportions are engineered to maximize usable space without making the vehicle feel oversized or awkward on city streets. The front fascia carries Kia's latest EV design language, with a clean, angular look that gives it presence without trying to imitate a traditional truck or SUV. The hood sits low, improving forward visibility, while the wide track and short overhangs signal stability and practicality from the moment the wheels roll. Slide open the side door and the practicality becomes instantly obvious. The PV5's step-in height is engineered to be low enough to ease loading and unloading, which matters tremendously when this is a bus ferrying riders or a van making dozens of stops in a delivery route. The sliding door action feels robust, and it's generous enough that even bulky cargo or a child seat installation feels effortless. On the cargo variant, the interior bay is dimensioned so that it can accept standard cargo configurations, including full Euro pallets in the long wheelbase version, something operators test every day to confirm real usability, not just theoretical volumes. The roofline stays relatively straight and uncluttered, which might look understated in photos but pays dividends in real life. Easier stacking of cargo, consistent headroom for rear passengers, and fewer blind spots around roof racks or equipment. Kia also offers multiple wheelbase and roof height combinations, giving buyers the option to prioritize maneuverability or maximum cargo volume depending on their needs. At the rear, large barn doors open wide, and the sill is positioned so loading heavy items doesn't require awkward lifts. Exterior storage points, tie-downs, and thoughtful touches like integrated lighting and weather sealing show that Kia didn't just make an EV van, they made one meant for hard work, daily use, or full passenger duty without feeling compromised. Step inside the 2026 Kia PV5, and the first impression is how intentionally simple and functional the cabin feels. This isn't stripped-down minimalism for the sake of looking futuristic. It's a workspace designed for people who spend hours behind the wheel. The dashboard is wide, clean, and flat, giving the driver a clear forward view with excellent peripheral visibility. Controls are grouped logically, the screens are placed at a natural sightline, and the cabin layout stays focused on reducing fatigue and distraction. Kia equips the PV5 with a digital gauge cluster paired with a central screen running the company's latest connected interface. The graphics are clean, and the menus prioritize quick, essential actions, which matters when the vehicle is used for deliveries, shuttle service, or frequent stop-and-go routes. The software ties directly into Kia's PBV ecosystem, enabling remote diagnostics, routing, and fleet tools that update in real time. It's the kind of tech that saves minutes on every shift and adds up to hours over a full week work. Seat comfort is another highlight. The driving position is upright but not truck-like, giving a confident, commanding feel without sacrificing daily comfort. The seat cushions are firm enough for long-duration use, and the armrest and wheel placement allow a natural posture on extended routes. Visibility from the driver's seat is genuinely impressive. The low cowl, high glass area, and square proportions create a clear sense of where the vehicle sits on the road. For urban driving, that confidence pays off immediately. The cabin is engineered to be quiet too. Electric vans often struggle with road and wind noise because the absence of an engine exposes every vibration and resonance. Kia addressed that by reinforcing key body sections, improving insulation, and using noise-optimized tires. The result is a cabin that feels calmer than many traditional compact vans, which makes a real difference for drivers who spend 10 hours a day on the road. Storage is everywhere, and it's practical. There are large door pockets, a deep center bin, overhead compartments in certain configurations, and modular mounting points that allow accessories or equipment racks to be added without drilling or improvisation. Everything feels thought out, not retrofitted. The headline moment for the Kia PV5 isn't a spec sheet number or a neat marketing phrase. It's a real, verified Guinness World Record. In late September 2025, a long-range Kia PV5 Cargo with its 71.2 kilowatt-hour battery and full authorized payload set a new benchmark for electric vans by traveling 693.38 kilometers, roughly 430.84 miles on a single charge. That wasn't on a closed track or under ideal conditions. This was on public roads north of Frankfurt, Germany, over a 58.2-kilometer loop repeated 12 times, with stoplights, roundabouts, elevation changes, and all the variables a typical delivery van would face in daily operations. The battery started at 100%, the cargo compartment was loaded to maximum weight, and the PV5 still kept going for over 22 hours and 30 minutes before the run ended, a feat that earned it the official Guinness World Records title for the greatest distance traveled by a light-duty battery-powered electric van with maximum payload on a single charge. Independent inspectors certified the payload and conditions, and every mile of the journey was documented with GPS and in-cab cameras to make sure the result was irrefutable. The fact that a van built for work, not just range bragging, could cover nearly 431 miles fully loaded under real-world conditions shows just how far electric commercial vehicles have come. When you take the PV5 out of the test loop and into the real world, the numbers start to make a lot more sense. With the larger battery, Kia targets up to 258 WLTP, which usually translates to something a little over 200 miles in everyday US driving. And that's the number that matters. 200 miles is enough for a full shift of deliveries, a full day of rideshare duty, or a full week of normal family driving without worrying about plugging in constantly. Where the PV5 really proves itself is how it holds range under load. Many electric vans lose a big chunk of mileage the moment you add weight. The PV5's Guinness run, more than 430 miles fully loaded, shows that the platform stays efficient even when the van is working hard. No one's hitting that number daily, but it proves the van doesn't fall apart the moment you put it to work. Charging is just as practical. The PV5 can peak at roughly 150 kilowatts on DC fast charging, which means you can show up with the battery low and get back on the road in about 30 to 40 minutes. That fits naturally into a lunch break, a route reset, or a mid-shift top-off. For businesses, that's the difference between keeping a vehicle in rotation and having it sit parked for hours. Overnight charging is simple too. Plug into a standard level 2 charger at home or at a depot, and the PV5 is topped up and ready by morning without needing high-power infrastructure. In everyday use, the PV5 isn't chasing a big headline number. It's delivering the two things drivers actually need: dependable range and charging times that don't disrupt the day. That practicality is what makes it feel like a real step forward for electric vans, not just another concept brought to life. For fleet operators, the 2026 Kia PV5 solves problems they deal with every single day. The biggest one is predictability. With an electric van, range and uptime matter more than anything else, and the PV5 delivers both. A real-world driving window of a little over 200 miles per charge covers the majority of last-mile delivery routes, airport shuttle loops, urban service calls, and municipal use without needing midday charging. And when a top-off is needed, the PV5's 30 to 40-minute DC fast charge window means a van can be turned around fast enough to stay in circulation instead of sitting dead in a lot. Operating costs are another massive draw. Electric vans cut fuel expenses immediately, but where fleet managers really pay attention is maintenance. No oil, no transmission service, fewer moving parts, and less downtime. Over a multi-vehicle fleet, that's not hundreds saved, that's thousands per year, per van. And because the PV5 is built on a dedicated PBV platform instead of a gas chassis, the components are placed logically, making the van easier to service and quicker to diagnose. The modular body design is what truly sets it apart. A fleet can buy a passenger configuration, a cargo version, or a ride-hailing setup, and the core structure stays the same. That consistency means shared parts, simplified training, and predictable repair cycles. For larger operations, including delivery partners and logistics companies, that's a huge advantage. Add Kia's connected PBV software layer, which supports live tracking, energy monitoring, route management, and predictive maintenance, and you get a van that makes the entire fleet smarter, not just cleaner. But the real reason fleets care is reliability. Electric vans have struggled with range loss under load, inconsistent performance, and fast charging limits. The PV5's verified Guinness run with full payload shows the platform doesn't collapse once the cargo bay is filled. It keeps the range steady, keeps the torque consistent, and keeps the schedule intact. For businesses, that's the bottom line. A van that drives farther, charges faster, costs less to run, and stays on the road longer is more than just a new EV. It's a tool that pays for itself. And that's exactly why the PV5 has fleets paying attention before it even reaches US showrooms. From a consumer perspective, the big question is simple. Can the 2026 Kia PV5 work as a family van, or is it strictly a commercial tool dressed up for the public? The answer is more interesting than you'd expect. Even though the PV5 was engineered for fleets in mind, its passenger configuration doesn't feel like a stripped-down work shuttle. The cabin is tall, airy, and incredibly easy to move around in, with a flat floor and a wide sliding door that makes kid loading, car seats, and Costco hauls way less stressful than a conventional minivan. The seating layout is flexible, with room for up to 7 depending on spec, and because the PV5 rides on a dedicated EV platform, there's no engine bay eating into the cabin. Every inch of space is put to work. Families get a ridiculous amount of headroom, real legroom in every row, and an upright seating position that improves visibility and makes long drives less tiring. And the massive windows turn the entire cabin into a rolling living room. Kids stay calmer when they can actually see outside. Daily usability is where the PV5 quietly shines. The low step-in height is great for kids and parents juggling car seats. The squared-off body makes parking and tight maneuvering feel natural. And because the van was designed for commercial abuse, the materials are durable enough to survive spilled drinks, sports gear, and whatever mystery goo kids seem to generate. It's practical to a fault, and that's exactly what families who outgrow a traditional SUV are looking for. Range-wise, the real-world 200-mile window won't be a problem for typical suburban life. School runs, extracurriculars, weekend trips, and daily errands simply don't consume the kind of miles that commercial routes do. Throw in fast charging capability, and you get a van that's easy to top up during a grocery run or a lunch stop. For most families, that's more than enough to erase the range anxiety that still follows many new EV shoppers. The only caveat is personality. The PV5 isn't trying to look sporty or luxurious. It's a purpose-built box on wheels. And some buyers will love that honesty, while others might miss the warmth of a traditional family minivan. But if what you value most is space, practicality, and an EV that's engineered to take a beating, the PV5 delivers a surprisingly compelling family-friendly package. Is it unconventional? Absolutely. But for the right household, this van makes more everyday sense than most crossovers on the market. After spending real time with the 2026 Kia PV5, the takeaway is clear. This van isn't trying to win you over with flash. It wins by being ruthlessly practical, impressively efficient, and smarter than anything else in its class. Kia built it for fleets, but in doing so, they accidentally created one of the most useful electric vans regular buyers can actually live with. The modular interior, the upright packaging, the intuitive tech, and the real-world range that genuinely supports daily life all add up to a vehicle that feels engineered for the grind, not the spec sheet. If you're shopping for performance or luxury, this isn't your van. But if you're a business owner who cares about uptime, cost per mile, and long-term reliability, the PV5 should be right at the top of your list. And for families who've outgrown their SUV and want space, ease of use, and an EV that doesn't get in the way of real life, the passenger version is far more compelling than you'd expect. The PV5 won't fit everyone, but for the people it does fit, it fits almost perfectly. It's a no-nonsense electric van designed to make daily life simpler, cheaper, and calmer. And in a world full of overstyled, overcomplicated EVs, that honesty might be its most refreshing feature. That wraps it up for the 2026 Kia PV5. If this breakdown helped you get a clearer picture of whether this van makes sense for your life or your business, hit the like button. It genuinely helps the channel grow. And if you want more real-world, no-nonsense car content, make sure to subscribe to Car Today Reviews so you never miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching Car Today Reviews. More deep dives and honest testing are on the way.